So the male reproductive system is get divided into three parts. First, gonads. Second, internal and external genitalia. And third, the glands. Or these are also called as the accessory glands. Okay. So first of all, we will talk about the external genitalia. So external genitalia means the genitalia which can be seen from the external side. Okay, so they can be visible externally, and the examples of the external genitalia are the scrotum and penis. So the scrotum and penis both can be seen externally. Okay, now second, internal genitalia. The genitalia that are present inside the body, okay, or the genitalia that cannot be seen externally or morphologically, so these genitalia are called as the internal genitalia. So the internal genitalia contains the pair of testes. Okay, so there are two testes found as internal genitalia. And second thing about the internal genitalia, the accessory ducts. Okay, accessory ducts means the ducts which help in the process of the reproduction over here. So the accessory ducts contains the rete testis, vas efferentia, epididymis, vasa differentia, ejaculatory ducts, and urethra. So all these are the accessory ducts. Now we will discuss about the scrotum directly. So about the scrotum, they told us that scrotum is a pouch of skin. Okay, it is a pouch of skin, or it look like a pouch, okay, which is made up of the skin. And if we talk about the location of the scrotum, then the scrotum is extra abdominal. Extra abdominal means they found outside the abdominal cavity. Okay, so if you see in the figure, you can see the labeling is given over there, that is the abdominal cavity, and just down to that, below to that, you can see the scrotum is shown over there. So scrotum is found outside the abdominal cavity, and hence it is said that scrotum is extra abdominal. Okay, and second thing about the location, scrotum is found below the pubic symphysis. Okay, that also you can see in the figure. So pubic symphysis, it is the cartilaginous joint. Okay, it is a cartilaginous joint which connects the rami of the coxal bones to each other. Okay, so which are found in the pelvic cavity. So in the figure you can see the two coxal bones are connected to each other, or their rami are connected to each other by a fibrous joint, and that fibrous joint is called as the pubic symphysis. And you can see in the figure, below the region of the pubic symphysis, or below the pubic symphysis, the scrotum is present over there. Okay, and scrotum is found in the upper region in between the two thighs. Okay, so you know that, or in figure you also can see that in between the two thighs, in the upper region of the two thighs, this scrotum is found over there. Okay, now in this figure, okay, this is the figure that is showing the external appearance of a scrotum. And in this figure you can see in the middle there is a blue line, okay, or there is a purple line, you can see, which is labeled as the perineum raphe. Okay, so when we see the scrotum externally, okay, when we see the scrotum externally, you can see in the medial or in the middle part of the scrotum, a layer passes. Okay, a layer passes, and that layer is called as the perineum raphe. So that perineum raphe, it originates from the part of the anus, and it is passing through the center or through the midline of the scrotum. And with this perineum raphe, we also externally can judge that the scrotum is divided into the two compartments. Okay, it is not externally divided into two compartments, but from outside, from externally, due to the presence of the perineum raphe, we can see that the scrotum is divided into two compartments. Okay, and in this figure, okay, so this is the external appearance, not internal appearance, you can see. So in this figure, externally we can see that there is a left compartment, you can see in the figure, and another one is the right compartment in the figure. Okay, so very important thing to know about both these compartment, you can see, just observe the figure carefully and just see in it, the left compartment of the scrotum appears lower than that of the right compartment, slightly lower. Okay, so the left compartment is slightly lower than that of the right compartment due to the presence of the testes within it. Okay, so the left testis is slightly lower than that of the right testis. Okay, due to the or the benefit of this is the testes do not get compressed during the compaction. Okay, so this is the thing, this is the benefit of uh, uh, the lowering of the left compartment as compared to the right one. This the scrotum shows wrinkled skin. Okay, I have shown in this figure, you can see in both the compartments I have drawn some wrinkled lines. Okay, so they show the wrinkled skins of the scrotum, and scrotum is highly pigmented. Scrotum has highly pigmented skin as compared to other parts of our body. Okay, that means if we compare the skin of the scrotum with the skin of the hand or legs or stomach or other parts, we can say that the skin of the scrotum is highly pigmented. It shows the wrinkled skin, and also the scrotum shows the presence of hairs on it. Okay, so these are the pubic hairs, okay, which are found in the pubic region, but as well as the hairs are found on the scrotum. And now we will move towards the next figure. Okay, and in this figure now we will see the internal appearance of a scrotum right now. So we know internally the scrotum is divided into two compartments. Okay, with the help of one septum. So the first labeling you can see over there, which is called as the scrotal septum. Just see the first labeling, scrotal septum, which is shown with a blue double line. Okay, so the double blue line you can see from top to bottom, that is the scrotal septum. Okay, and that scrotal septum internally divides the scrotum into two compartments. Okay, one is the right compartment and another one is the left compartment. In this figure also you can see the left compartment is slightly lower than the right one. Okay, so now we will see which structures are found in both the compartments. Okay, so I have just shown over here the all the structures found in the left compartment. So the structures that you can see in the left compartment, similar structures are found in the right compartments also. Okay, but for the explanation I have took over here the left compartment. So you can see in the left compartment, okay, in the orange color oval shape, the testes can be seen. So that is the testes I have shown with the orange color and the oval shape. So that is the testes. So the testes is found in the scrotum or the scrotal sac, and you can see above the testes I have shown with the green color. Okay, so the green colored structure that is shown over there, that is the epididymis. I have given color for your convenience only. Okay, keep in mind that colors are only for your convenience. The testis is neither orange color nor the epididymis is green one. So these color are given for our understanding only. Okay, so above the testis, the structure that is seen, that is called as the epididymis. So as just we have seen the accessory ducts. Okay, so epididymis, it is the part of the accessory ducts. So the epididymis gives rise to the tubular structure, which is I have shown over in the pinkish color. Okay, you can see where the green color ends. Okay, where the green color ends, that means the epididymis ends over there, and from that part I have shown that structure with the pinkish colored, and that pinkish colored structure, it is rising on towards the top side. Okay, and that pinkish colored tubular structure, that is called as the vas deferens. Okay, that is the vas deferens, you can see in the figure. So in this way, the compartment, it shows the left as well as right compartment, it shows the testes, epididymis and the vas deferens. Okay, same structure is found in the another compartment. Then later here you also can see that, just see the lowermost labeling, which is called as the gubernaculum. Okay, see, the testes is connected to the wall of the scrotum. You can see in the figure, the testes is connected to the wall of the scrotum by a fibromuscular band. I have shown that with the pinkish colored again. Okay, on the lower side, just see below the testes. Below the testes, you can see that is the fibromuscular band, and that fibromuscular band is called as gubernaculum. Okay, and with the help of that gubernaculum, the testis is connected to the wall of the scrotum. Okay, wall of the scrotum, and that's why the testis does not move freely within the scrotal sac anywhere due to the presence of the gubernaculum. Okay, so keep in mind, the testis is connected to the wall of the scrotum by the gubernaculum, which is the fibrous muscular band. In next figure, you can see over here. Okay, so I have shown the abdominal region in this figure. Just see on the topmost, on the top part, that is the abdominal region. Okay, and I have shown one testis over there. Okay, on the left side you can see one testis over there in the abdominal region. Similarly, the same testis can be found on the right side also. So during the during the embryonic development, the testes are found in the abdomen. Okay, that means before the 7th month of the development, when we are in the womb of the mother, or when we are in the uterus of the mother, up to the 7th month of the development. Okay, up to the 7th month of the gestation period, the testes are found in the abdominal region. Okay, so that is the abdominal testes I have shown in the figure. But what happens after the 7th month? Okay, or at the end of the 7th month, the testes from the abdomen, it enters into the respective scrotal sacs. Okay, just we have seen the two scrotal sac or the two scrotal compartments right now. So after the 7th month of the development, or during at the end of the 7th month of the embryonic development, the testes, each testis from the abdominal region, it enters into the respective scrotal sac. Okay, but while passing into the scrotum from the abdominal region, the test is passing through one canal, and that canal is called as inguinal canal. Okay, in the figure you can see I have shown it with the orange structure. Okay, the canal I have shown on both the side, on the left side as well as on the right side. Okay, so that is the inguinal canal. Okay, so testis from the abdominal region, they enters into the inguinal canal, and from inguinal canal the testis can enter into the each scrotal sac. Okay, after the 7th month of the development. So you also can see I have shown the testes in the inguinal canal, and that testis is called as inguinal testis. Okay, and also after the 7th month of the delivery, I have 7th month of the development, I have shown the scrotal testes you can see in the uh, down part of this figure in the scrotum. The testes are found in the scrotum, and these are called as the scrotal testes. Okay, so just in figure you can see the abdominal testes, inguinal testes, and scrotal testes. So this is very simple explanation. But just remember, as I have told you, at the end of seventh month of embryonic development, the testes from the abdomen, they descend down into the respective scrotal sacs. Okay, but in certain cases, what happens? The test is unable to descend down. The test is unable to enter into the scrotal sac, and they may remain in the abdominal area or they may remain in the inguinal area. Okay, so when the test is unable to descend down into the scrotal sacs after the seventh month of delivery, then this condition is called as the cryptorchidism. Okay, this is called as the cryptorchidism. So cryptorchidism means testes do not enter into the respective scrotal sacs after the seventh month of the development. Okay, so what happens during this cryptorchidism condition? So the males with this cryptorchidism are sterile. They cannot be fertile. They do not fertilize because for the production of sperms, the testes must be in the scrotum. They should not be in the abdominal region or in the inguinal region. Okay. Now next, muscles in the scrotum. So the wall of the scrotum contains the two types of muscles. One is the dartus muscles and second one is the cremaster muscles. So both these muscles, they help in the contraction and relaxation of the scrotum. Okay, so that means we can see that during the hot or tempered, okay, hot tempered region during the summer season, we can see, or during the high temperature, the testes moves away from the abdominal region or from the body, and during the cold region, during the cold season, during the coldness, the testes, they moves towards the body. So this is the contraction and relaxation. Okay, and this contraction and relaxation of the testes is takes place due to the two types of muscles, that is the dartus muscles and another one is the cremaster muscles. Okay, it is not compulsory that the scrotum must be present in all the mammals, okay, or in all the vertebrates. There are certain examples you can see in which the scrotum is absent. So as I shown over here, the scrotum is absent in the whales as well as in the seal. Okay, you can see those animals in the figure. So scrotum absent in the whale and seals. Also scrotum absent in the land animals like the bats and rodents. Okay, and finally we will talk about the functions of the scrotum. So first function, scrotum provides space for the location of testes. We have seen the testes are located inside the scrotum. So this is the first function. Second, it provides protection to the testes. Scrotum provides protection to the testes. So this is the another function. Protection means uh, it does not allow the formation of pressure on the testes during the compaction. Okay, so this is the function of the scrotum, that they protect the testes. And finally, scrotum act as a thermoregulatory organ. It acts as thermoregulatory organ because the temperature in the scrotal region is less than 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius less than the normal body temperature. Okay, that means scrotal sacs has less body temperature than that of the normal body temperature, and this temperature in the scrotum is helps the testes in the production of the sperms. Okay, so it is thermoregulatory organ, and indirectly scrotum helps the testes for the production of sperms also. So in this way we have completed the structure of the scrotum, and in next lecture we will see the next part of the male reproductive system. So till that, goodbye dear friends.